said Whataburger, and it's like, that's what you want. Chick-fil-A.
This is all being recorded right now.
Honey baked ham. I don't care.
Give him a whole ham.
Anything.
All right. We're back with another episode of the Fine Finish Podcast.
Here we go.
We're recording.
In our new room.
Now, this one might go out after the next one. So we might introduce the recording again.
Yeah.
You know? So we're introducing it twice. But, so what's up, man?
Same shit, different day.
Seems like it's a little slower out there right now, huh?
Right now it is because we got rid of a project that we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment on that?
I mean, I'd be happy to talk about it. And
I just don't know if anybody would want any insight on
what happened.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to get into specifics, but
no, I mean,
I don't know if it matters. So.
No, it's fine. I mean, I think one thing that's unique now is that I don't necessarily need the finishing business as income, right? Which kind of gives us leverage and positions us different in the conversation with the customer. Mm-hmm. What happened was this gentleman that we were doing this project for, I had originally talked to him months and months ago about doing the finish work, and never heard back from him. We did samples, we did all kinds of stuff, never heard back from him for months. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he wanted to start dropping stuff off like the next day.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, let's back up. You know, I need to understand what's going on. We weren't ready. I mean, we had cars and all kinds of stuff in the shop, and we weren't ready. So, long story short, we started taking on some of the work. Then all of a sudden he started saying, well, this doesn't match. Well, kind of find out it's not matching what he had another person doing. Mm-hmm. Which with stain, I mean, I don't care if it's the same exact products, they're never going to look the same unless it's intentional. So that's what happened. And, you know, the first part of it, we were just doing like some trim, and I got fed up with it and just told him to get it out of my shop, and he did. And then we had the pews, and then he started saying the same thing about the pews, and same thing. I just, I just told him to kick rocks, man. And I think it took him by surprise. It really did, because, you know, I think most people would bend over backwards and kiss ass to get those type of jobs. And for me, it's like, I'm not going to lose money. You know, it started looking like we were going to start losing money, and we just stopped.
Yeah.
We just stopped, you know, and it is what it is. So he's shit out of luck.
You can see the bleeding coming, so
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So hold on, real back up. I want to ask you about something you said. If you have two different finishers trying to come up with the same result, what is the issue there? Is it technique?
Yeah.
Between both finishers, or is it?
Yeah, especially with stain. I mean, even within the same room, right? I mean, I could hand everybody the same stain and say, hey, stain these boards. Mm-hmm. And chances are everything's going to look different. I mean, there's so many things with stain. Just like if you use different grits of sandpaper. I mean, if we used 180 and they used the 240, the stain color is going to be different. Yeah. If you let your stain sit on the panel, you know, a minute longer than I did, it's going to look different. If you wipe off more than I wipe off, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's a process thing.
Oh God,
right?
It's absolutely a process thing. That's why when we stain, what we typically like to do is have two people, right? One putting on, one wiping off.
Yeah.
And that's what you do, right? Because if you change that, if you say, hey, y'all both wipe on and wipe off, they're going to look different. And like we know that, you know, we know that. So he didn't really want to help us or work with us. I tried to give them so many different options on the ways that we could try to get this cohesive. I offered to go over there, and spend some time there so I could see it. I told him, I said, man, I need to see it. He kept bringing us like little 6-inch pieces and saying, oh, it needs to look like this. I was like, yeah, dude, but we're doing thousands of feet.
Yeah.
Like, how can I and everything looked different. Some of the oak was white, some of it was red, some of it looked a little green, and it was just frustrating, man. And I just, we have some other stuff in the pipeline with a customer we're familiar with that we've done project for already. And it was better to just cut ties. And we have some work. We're keeping the guys busy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. See, was it a difficult customer situation, or was it a difference of finisher versus customer? You know what I'm saying? Was it hit? You think it was more on him, or
it was definitely on him? And I feel bad for the guy because his timeline. I think as contractors, we've all been there where we get so far behind on projects and we're desperate to, get paid on a job, and there's things that hold it up. All these different variables. It's 100% his fault from a time perspective. Like, he put himself in this position, and wasn't willing to work with us to try to help him. And I told him that multiple times. Like, man, I'm trying to help you. Yeah. Like, I really, genuinely am trying to help you, but you won't let me help you. And then for me, it kind of pissed me off because he kept talking about, oh, well, that's where the artistry comes. Because one of his solution that he offered was, well, I'm going to bring you the same stain. And I was like, it's not going to make a difference. Yeah. But go ahead and bring it. And he never brought it. And then he said,
yeah, it's definitely a customer issue.
Yeah. And then he says,
project or management issue. Sorry. Yeah.
Then he goes, well, it wouldn't matter if I bring you the stain because they're taking it and they're adding green to some of it and yellow to some of it and red to some of it. And I was like, okay, so what do you want me to do? Like, tell me what you want me to do. Yeah. Well, it needs to match. Okay, bring me something on a large scale so I can make sure it matches. No, I can't do that. Well, schedule time for me to go over there. No, I can't do that either. And he's like, and that's where the artistry comes in. That's where the artistry comes in. And I'm like, Juan, if you put 10 artists in a room and tell them to paint, a model. Yeah. Everybody's painting is going to look different, bro. So, what are you talking about?
Especially if it's a nude model.
A nude model, yeah.
They're going to have different sizes of things.
So, it's all good, though. We shook hands and parted ways. And, I think he probably feels a certain way about it more than I do.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
But, at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah. So. Well, and, I wish I could speak to it more. You were dealt with it more than I did, so we did have another of our customer come in, another customer of ours come in, Mike Ruiz, and you interviewed him. Yep. Right. Mm-hmm. What did y'all talk about?
Man, Mike has been
we'll cut to the clip here in a little bit, but
Mike's been a loyal customer. I like the operation that he runs from what I've seen. He's one of our larger customers. He has a lot of employees, got over 20 employees. When we give analogies like, hey, the guy that drives up in a $150,000 truck, that's him. Yeah. Lives in a big custom home with a pool and kind of living that American dream, and has no social media accounts. Nobody would know who he is if you mention his name, unless it's like we're talking very local builders or something like that, and I think he likes it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's a true work out of his truck kind of guy too. He doesn't have an office or a location that I know of. Mm-mm. Every time I've met him or talked to him, it's, I'm parked right here. Come meet me here or something.
I'm at this job site.
I'm at this job site. Yeah. So, but let's go ahead and we'll cut to that.
Cool.
to that interview, and then we'll see you after that.
Awesome. All right, so Mike, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us on the podcast. Mike has been a longtime customer of ours, probably since the first shop?
Yeah.
The very first shop. So that's been 4 years now. Here on the podcast, man, we talk about a lot of different stuff. One of the things I bring up a lot is how we have a lot of customers that are running successful businesses, have been in business for a while, but have no social media presence, or anything like that. And which is, it's not a bad thing because you're obviously doing well with the business. And I just wanted to kind of, chat with you a little bit and hear your story, man. So tell me, how'd you get into the painting world?
Painting world, going to work with my dad when I was about 14 and just picked up the paint trade. Started our own company when I was 16. So it's about 25 years been in business.
Nice. How many guys do you have working for you now?
About 22.
22 guys. Awesome. Now, obviously we've become friends and, we see each other pretty regularly. With those 22 guys, from what I see y'all are doing is primarily high-end residential custom builds. I mean, give me a little scope of what all you do.
Just a lot. I mean, the normal paint, then we get into the fine and, just a whole different shiny, glossy paint. So, I mean, just whatever.
Yeah. But you do a lot with the builders. So you're doing that from the ground up, essentially.
Yes.
Everything.
Yep.
Is there anything y'all don't do on the paint side or coating side?
Just everything to do with paint.
Yeah. So, within your organization, with the 22 guys you have, I mean, how does that work? What's kind of a typical build look like? I mean, as far as you allocating jobs to certain guys, or do they all just kind of work together? I mean, because I'm I don't know much about the actual painting itself. More, all my experiences with wood coating, so I'm not familiar in any way with that process.
Yeah, just everybody knows. I mean, has their what to do. I mean, we have our preppers, our sanders, our cleaners, our sprayers, our spot putty, guys, and spotlighting and touch up guys. So everybody has their own, things to do.
So I know you do Venetian plaster and stuff too. How'd you get into? Well, let me ask you this: how'd you find us?
YouTube.
There you go.
That's the only thing I can.
Yeah.
Social media on.
Yeah.
YouTube. I think I was checking gloss. I think at that time we were doing a lot of gloss finish and found you. I think for a spray or a sander or something. I think I think I was after the surf prep.
Yeah. Because I know you used to deal with Tim a lot in the store, and now that I'm thinking about it, I remember we sprayed that oil-based gloss stuff. You brought it by one time, and we sprayed it. I think it was a green color or something. But with Venetian plasters, that's something that we're always kind of kicking around ideas on different things and products. Even recently, we were having a conversation with a rep about different special effects.
Yeah.
And I know you also do commercial work as well.
Yes. We're doing restaurants right now in Venetian plaster. Just finished a big popular one in Dallas and one here in Houston Galleria.
Yeah.
Named Lombardi.
Okay.
And we're doing right now a steakhouse for somebody, but the whole building is Venetian plaster.
How'd you get into that?
In the houses, they always ask for them, dining rooms, vent hoods. Then one of the designers picked up a restaurant, so we start bringing that into the restaurants.
You had to teach yourself
Yes.
Yeah. So it wasn't something your dad offered or anything
Oh
like
no,
that?
he just old school paint.
Yeah.
We're the one that got into the fine finish,
Yeah.
glossy and plasters and
Right.
stains and lacquers.
Yeah. As far as like a profitability standpoint, how does that look when we're talking commercial jobs, like doing this restaurant versus, let's just say, working with a custom builder and doing a little bit of everything? What's the profit margins look like? Is one better than the other? Or, I mean,
Our price goes across the board the same.
Yeah.
Whether it's residential or commercial.
Okay.
It's still a whole different.
yeah,
Not a whole lot of people are doing plasters or
right.
that nice finishes.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering, if you charge, like a premium, because not many people do offer that service. Or is it, well, let me ask you this. How do you price a job?
Square feet,
Yeah.
a wall, for plaster. And paint, new house is square feet of living.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, we like I said, man, we've been looking at so many different things and trying to, because we're not like your traditional paint store like you go to,
No.
where they have Benjamin Moore or whatever it may be. We strictly do the wood coatings, but I think that space is real interesting for us to explore, because we have so many customers like yourself, that are doing special effects and always trying to be a little bit different. Now, the big question becomes is whether or not the customer has the clientele for it. Because I wanted to interview you because, like I said, we get obviously we get a lot of our business organically through social media, which of course we appreciate, and we ship a lot of product all over the country every single day. But what we tend to hear a lot of is people wanting to like try stuff, right? They're like, man, I want to try this. I want to try that. And my question usually is, well, do you have a job coming up? Or is somebody asking you for it? And man, I'm going to say 90% of the time the response is no, right? And I think you're different because people are actually asking you to do this stuff, and you're kind of learning out of necessity.
Yes.
So that you can do that job. What have you found has been kind of your success to having 22 employees? I know you build pools.
Yes.
You build houses.
Yes.
Right. How'd you get there, man?
Just being on the job sites and, chit-chatting with all the trades and,
Old school. Networking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just getting out there and pounding the pavement.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. That's what we were talking about earlier. I mean, it's a decision we've been kicking around is hiring a salesperson, having somebody out there, pounding the pavement, because I think the internet's just like real life. I mean, if you back in the day, you put your phone number in the phone book.
Yeah.
And you could sit around and wait for people to call, right? Like we kind of wait for people to see content, or we pick up the phone and start dialing, So tell me about how long have you been building houses?
I've been helping builders run the sites and bring in trades for probably 16, 18 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. But run myself probably a good 8 years. Awesome. From the ground up, remodels or just anything to do with a house.
Yeah. And what do you think the future looks like for you and Definitive? Is it building houses full time? Is it doing
That's the plan.
Everything?
Yeah.
Or, I mean...
Yeah, doing spec houses. That's
spec houses?
Yes.
Is that where the money's at?
Yeah.
Not custom?
Oh, that's what we call custom spec houses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess when I think spec, I'm thinking like...
they call them specs when it's no customer. It's a custom house, but it's going to be a spec sale.
Oh, okay.
To buy it as you designed it.
Yeah. I was thinking spec home like David Weekly or something. They build,
track home. Yeah.
By 100. So track house, that's how that would be referred to. Yeah, we see that a lot, man, in contracting. I hear it a lot from our customers. It seems like everybody's goal when they're a contractor of any sort, somehow the natural progression moves to building houses. And I guess it makes sense. What have you found? What obstacles do you face building houses?
Everything I've been doing right now is just custom, so I let the customer pick whatever decisions they want.
But I know there's like a learning curve, though. Like, I mean, I have to imagine. I mean, I tried to build my own house, right? And permitting, engineering.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all
inspections.
Yeah. So what's been the biggest, if you could give advice to somebody that might be listening or watching that's saying, I want to build houses, what would be your best advice to them?
Just get 3-4 bids, different trades, and just get in the right trade, because a lot of guys walk off after, underbid it, or you don't really know them.
You need to have a fallback.
Yes.
Yeah. What about that design and permitting process there? Do you outsource that? Do you have somebody in-house that you use? I mean,
for the beginning process, there's a plan runner that goes and gets all your permits. But on site, each trade does their permit.
Okay.
And do their inspections, and you just sit there for an inspector.
Gotcha. Okay, so like the electrician pulls his own permit. But there's just like your primary building permit, right?
Yes.
So you have to submit the plans.
And
they give you
revisions, and they look at it.
Yeah.
In the city of Houston.
I got you. Or wherever it is.
Yeah. County, you're fine.
County's
it's
easier.
Easy.
Yeah. That's what we always hear too. That's cool, man. I mean, like I said, I just always find it real interesting that we have, you always drive up in a nice truck, you always have big projects going on. I mean, it's not like I say, hell, let's talk about the house you're working on right now. You were just showing me. How many square feet is that?
10,000 square feet.
And how many gallons of paint are we going to need?
Yeah, we don't know yet. Trim guy's not done yet.
Exactly.
There's probably not much drywall left in that house.
Right. Yeah. But that's one project. And what other projects do you have going on right now?
I have a few 5 to 10,000, 15,000 square foot houses coming up.
Yeah. So you're buying a lot more from a residential side, because, our segments, we have cabinet shops, right? They buy a lot of paint, but then we have a guy like you, and we have a few others that are, doing a lot of projects. Man, if you want to give us an idea of what your revenues are a year, just give people kind of a idea on what that looks like to have 22 people and, what it needs to look like, I guess, because there has to be a number that it has to be. And you don't have to, man.
No.
Yeah. No, you don't have to. I mean, that's what's interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's because like I go, like a lot of these social media guys, we were kind of talking about it earlier. I go to these PCA, APC, whatever you want to call them, events where you have a couple of guys, right, that do 7-figure revenues, and they have lots of employees, and they're extremely open about their numbers, and they can drill down on their numbers at any time. One thing I always find super interesting, though, is that those guys are usually the minority in the room, right? Because I'm going to say, at least 70% of the room is not doing 7 figures. They're there trying to learn, how to get there. Like, how do we get there? These are people from all over the country, right? So it's, it's interesting, man. I just curious, curious. So building custom homes is the next goal. You're going to try to stop doing
No, still doing.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Multifaceted.
Yeah,
man. Nothing wrong with that. Well, awesome, man. I don't know. I mean, I really don't have any other questions that I can think of. Appreciate you, jumping on and
Sure.
talking to us. How can people find you?
I don't do any social media, so
No social media, no website, no nothing.
yeah, the website is Definitive Painted Drywall.
Yeah, just so people can check out the
Yeah.
work you're doing. Do you have pictures?
No,
of-
nothing yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna.
Old school.
Well, yeah.
Phone number.
If anybody needs somebody that can handle production work, because that's the other thing, right? I mean, is we have local customers that listen, and some of our customers are home builders, and there is definitely those scenarios where they're looking for a contractor. Like I said, man, we have customers, but they might just be a man in the van operation. They wouldn't know what to do with a 10,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
It would take them a year probably.
Yeah, I get a bunch of friends to call me
Yeah, there you
if I
go.
want them, but we stay pretty busy.
So how can they get a hold of you if they need to?
Phone number.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is-
832-407-6247.
Awesome, man. Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So you just had Mike Ruiz in, one of our longtime customers.
Yep.
You have any follow up to what he was talking about? Anything
Yeah.
interesting he said?
I mean, Mike's kind of a quiet guy. I think he's a little shy.
quiet. I had to keep telling him to scoot up to the mic a little bit. Yeah.
But man, he's a good dude, and like I said, I mean, what he's doing is what a lot of people aspire to do, or at least think it's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that people have that little dose of reality. Like, it doesn't have to be all about social media. In fact, most of our successful customers aren't on social media that I've seen. I honestly cannot think of one single social media person that's within our local customer base that I would say is at that point.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah. One thing he mentioned in there, where you asked him about his revenue.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to divulge that, which I can understand why.
Sure.
But do you have any other thoughts on maybe why someone wouldn't want to give up that information?
No. And I mean, he was kind of hinting at it earlier when we were talking about the podcast, because, I mean, just backstory a little bit. He was here, right, waiting on an order.
Yeah, we just pulled him in.
It wasn't really a planned thing,
No.
like, hey, drop by and let's do the podcast. It was more like, hey, you want to do the podcast with us real quick? So he said it like, oh man, I don't want to give up my secrets. And, it's kind of that old school mentality as well. Like you said, he worked with his dad, and I know my dad and my grandpa were like that, like big time, like, oh, don't teach people. I think my mentality on it is a lot different, because I want to teach people as quickly as possible so that I don't personally have to do it.
Yeah.
So, I think it's one of those things. He probably just doesn't want to give out too much information out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess his business model is a little different, right? I mean,
Sure.
Our main reason for doing something even like this is to try to sell product, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I guess we're not trying to sugarcoat that, but we also want to give information, right?
Yeah.
Because it just, I think in general, helps everybody. But yeah, I think he's looking at it from he has competition.
Yeah,
That
100%.
direct competition that might even be listening to this. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I can understand why maybe he wouldn't say his. I mean, it's just like someone asking you what your salary is.
Sure.
So
No, absolutely.
there's some things you just want to keep guarded. So anything else that he mentioned or y'all talked about that kind of stood out to you?
No, not really. I mean, it seems like he's just really kind of stayed the course, which is, what we're doing. I mean, kind of, you just mentioned something. God, what did you say? I'm trying to think how you phrased it, but it's in line with what we were also talking about after the interview, which is like, why are you doing it, right? Oh, we do this. everything we do from a content standpoint is to sell product.
Yeah.
Like for no other reason. I mean, it's, we don't create content to say like, hey, we're the best painters or finishers or whatever. It's truly to sell product, and we never hide that.
No, for sure. Yeah, right? Yeah.
And we were having that conversation with Mike because Mike said, man, I guess I need to get a Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, yeah, but maybe you don't.
This was after we recorded.
Yeah, this is after.
After we stopped recording, yeah.
Yeah. But I told him, I was like, well, maybe you don't, though, because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Like, what benefit would it be for you to get on and start looking at this shit?
Well, yeah, and I don't know how much you want to get into that conversation that y'all had, but yeah. I thought it was interesting that you said, I guess it depends on who your audience is, sure, right? Because again, if our audience are customers,
yes,
a finisher or a painter or any contractor builder, that might be posting, and their audience isn't customers, it's other.
Yeah, people
it's other contractors or finishers.
Correct.
And then they're looking for
what?
A pat on the back. Is that what you said?
I said, a pat on the back.
Yeah. So you're right. That's a good way to put it, is that, if you're just looking for an attaboy or a good job. Yeah. And I guess that kind of goes to, and I'm not trying to speak to I don't know how to say it, your morals or ethics or whatever, but would you not be sharing information if you weren't making money doing it? Or potential revenue?
Probably not.
Not as much?
No, because what benefit would it be to me?
You're right.
And I say that because, if people that are listening don't know this, I have 6 kids.
Yeah.
Right? I really truthfully don't have time to be doing stuff that's not financially beneficial during working hours.
That doesn't mean that you're going to be a dick about it. And
no.
Like if somebody asks you, you're going to be like, are you going to pay me to do it? But that's not, you wouldn't do that. Yeah. But it's just offering it on a whim, I guess, would be more than anything.
Right. Well, it would be, I'll give you this scenario. Like I told Mike, I said, I've got other shit to do. Like I'd rather be out there working on my car.
Yeah.
It'd be similar to me saying, hey, I'm going to start creating content where like I'm working on my car. I don't make money. We don't take jobs working on people's cars. Right.
But it's fun to do. It's something you like to do.
It's fun to do. I enjoy it. Right. Yeah. But again, like it wouldn't serve any financial benefit for me to do that. And I don't really need anybody to sit there and tell me like, hey man, you're really good at working on your car. You know what I mean?
I tell you that all the time when I walk out there.
Oh yeah.
Ruiz, you're doing such a great job on your car.
Great job, man.
Man, I love the way you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just been business in general, man. I was kind of has nothing to do with finishing, but it has everything to do with business. I was talking to my best friend last night or yesterday, Johnny. You know him. Yep. He doesn't listen to the podcast, and if he does, I don't really give a shit. He knows.
We need to get him to start. Let's have him in here. No, that's what we need to do.
I don't want to do that. He knows I'm right, but.
You're about to talk about something y'all had a debate about?
It wasn't necessarily a debate, but it's business related, right?
I hear
because
you.
Johnny has made a great life for him and his family. He makes a phenomenal living as an outside sales rep in the electrical world. So he sells to like electrical distributors.
Yeah.
So the paint stores, he'd be the guy to sell to us the material. But his wife, she does something different. She does like liens.
Okay.
And she works for an electrical supply company, a distributor. And that's what she does is liens on material for the contractor, right? And in Johnny's mind, who again is a phenomenal salesperson, he's trying to convince her that she needs to start a business offering this service and quit working at her job, right? And at the same time, he's saying, you know, it's easy. It's easy. Like all you need is like 10 people, right? And if each person pays like $2,000,
that math is very easy to do when you're just sitting around.
Dude.
Yeah,
that's fucking hypothetical.
If we had 10 customers that were each paying us $1,000 a month,
exactly.
I mean, look, there you go, right there. And it's real easy to say that.
And do you know how many painters there are? Fucking millions.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, it's hypothetical.
Well, the biggest problem that we have here is finding a customer, right? I mean,
it is
not the biggest one, but it's harder than it seems. Right?
Well, and that was what I was telling him is like, okay, it sounds more like you're planning on doing this, but you're saying it's her business and she's going to do it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she doesn't want to do it.
That's a problem.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly. And he's like, yeah, but think about it, dude. I said, yeah, but I've been working for myself for 15 years, dude. And what you're not talking about is the operational part of this and the variables. Yeah, but there's no overhead. And I'm like, there's always overhead. I don't give a fuck. If we're sitting in our garage, there's overhead, right? There's always overhead. And not only that, you know, let's just say, okay, we start off with 3 people. Okay, now we have shit that we have deliverables, right? And how does that work?
Yeah.
Right? Because you're saying you need 20 people, but we have to manage the 3, right? And you're purely thinking from a sales perspective.
Yeah.
And I gave him that scenario, you know, because he said, like, you know how many electrical contractors are? I was like, do you know how many painters there are?
Yeah.
More than electrical contractors, probably, or it's very, very even. But if I have 10 of them, now I got to fill 10 orders a week.
Yeah.
Right? So that takes away from me going and finding the additional 10 that I needed to make the 20.
Yeah.
From an operational standpoint. So it's not that we couldn't, it's that I can't spend all of my time in pure sales capacity as a startup. Right. And he doesn't understand that because he does work for somebody. He calls it, you know, his business. I've been running my own business. I'm like, no, but you don't, because your company has HR. They fucking manage a website. They do the phones. You have an inside sales support person. You have a manager. You have a this and you have, it's not your business. You do sales.
Yeah.
Like your only focus in life is sales. You have no clue what it takes to actually run that company, logistics and everything else, you know, payroll, all the miscellaneous shit that's involved. So, you know, it's all relevant, I think, you know, to business. And with service companies, I think our audience, our customers, kind of to your point, you know, we have conversations about paint, sure, or finishing, but I feel like we have way more conversations about business because it's relevant.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, business is pretty universal amongst companies, right? The product, it's just a product that really changes, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you could really kind of
anything
replace paint here with something else, and if you find the right customer, I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
It is.
Right? So
100%.
That's why it's probably more important to talk about business more than it is about the product.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you talk about how you can, you know, operations or processes and things like that, just refining those and always trying to get better, you know, then, yeah, the product will sell as long as you're doing the right thing. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yep. And, you know, it was kind of to that. Mike was telling us earlier, or he was telling me, you weren't here, but he was telling me, he's like, man, you know, Sherwin is beating down my door all the time with, hey, this product and this product. And he said his Benjamin Moore store was trying to get him to use a renter-like product, right? We hear that shit all the time. And he told the rep, he goes, how do you know it's good? He said, the rep's exact words are, man, I got a badass new product. And he said, how do you know it's badass?
No, you're right. Yeah.
You know,
Implying, have you actually tried it yourself?
Yeah, I've never seen your ass spray anything a day in your life. So how do you know it's badass?
Yeah.
Well, they told us it was.
Yeah, they told us. Yeah,
they told us it was badass, so it must be.
Yeah.
You should see the sample door.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And that's why we put out content like this, and why you go out there and spray it and put it on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, because that's the only way really to prove to anybody. I could say all day that I'm the best at something, but if I can't show, and that's the problem that I run into. If I'm helping out with somebody on their website and they say I want to get more customers, and you could say all day long in your bio that you're the best at it, and we've had this discussion on other podcasts and whatever. No. But show them what you've done. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Yeah, build value.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
People come to you and we look at it from that standpoint is if you look at the content, the very first video we did, which is still on YouTube, it was purpose driven. It was, we're going to do this video because I'm trying to get a contract with this coatings company.
Was that you and I?
Yeah.
You talking about that one?
Yeah.
That we did on the shop and
with
on
the powder
Beltway?
glaze. Yeah, the red door. It's still on there on YouTube.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
And it was purpose driven. Like I had talked to my business coach.
8 years ago, I guess. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. But it was never ever. And if you look at the content, this is what we hear from, at least I hear from our customers, is I always try to make the content about business. You're going to use this because it dries faster. The pack and stack is better. The vertical hang is, whatever the value add is, not like, oh, hey, man, look how
glass factory.
Look how shiny that is, right? It's like, cool, yeah, it's shiny. We could do shit like that. Sometimes I got to remind people why my name's on the door, but at the end of the day, like I just want you to be able to serve your customer more efficiently and make more money, right? Because if they make more money, we make more money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So,
on the next episode, we're going to have Elon Musk talking about business. So y'all be ready.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Anything else?
No, I think that with Mike, it was good. I think one of the guys that we said we're going to have on, Cody showed interest. Yeah. Actually, to us,
younger guy.
He is a younger guy than us. He is running, and he's open about his revenues.
Yeah, for sure.
Multiple 7-figure business, very new company. The guy's smart as a freaking whip. His dad owns multiple businesses, so it'll be unique to see his perspective because he actually comes from money.
Yeah.
I think in this trade we don't see a lot of founders that come from money. And he's open about that. He always says, "Unfortunately, I grew up with money."
Yeah.
And he did, like, big money. So
it always helps.
It
always helps.
So I'm excited to have him.
And I think we're also gonna. I think we have scheduled John DeRock with Apollo.
John DeRock.
It's going to be here in a later episode. We don't know which episode just yet, but he'll be here at the end of July.
Yep.
And then what else is there?
Oh,
Elon Musk.
One thing, Elon Musk. Trump.
Sorry, Trump. Yeah, we're going to get Trump on.
Biden, maybe.
If
you can stay awake.
Let's have a debate on here.
Yeah, that'd be freaking awesome.
Host a debate between the two presidential candidates. You know how many views we would get on that?
Oh, God, dude.
We'd sell a lot of paint. We need to get a runner shirt or a fine finish supply shirt.
Yeah.
Anyways, what were we going to say? Sorry.
One thing we said we were going to do, it's going to be off the cuff here, but let's pull up some of the.
We were going to do that. You want to do it right now?
Yeah, might as well. So
you want to go to? We're going to Wix.
Yeah. So one thing we said we wanted to do, because this is the Fine Finish podcast, the amount of questions. We have hundreds of customers in our customer base, and on a daily basis we get asked a variety of questions. So what we said we'll do, because I'm sure a lot of y'all might have the same questions, we're just going to go through our inbox. We're not going to say who they are, but we're going to see what questions they ask.
I'm on the spot here, and I got to find something that's.
And I will. tell you what my response would be. And this is all, obviously, it's going to be renter.
It says least amount you can ship in missing black. With some, let's see, some of these are just product, like about my package. I just placed an order, including yeah. Let me go down here a little bit.
Let's find some technical.
I'm trying to find something here. And I think maybe we could find a different medium for this, where we can take questions. You know what we did set up? I set up a Fine Finish Podcast Instagram. Maybe we can even do that on. I think I did one on Facebook too. We need to figure out how to take questions on there.
Yeah.
Maybe just through messages. I'll have to confirm that. I think I'm gonna not be able to find something close enough here. Hello guys, question: Canada is running a product that can be used. Here we go. There you go.
Let's see what that one is.
Question from Canada here. Does Renner have a product that can be used on exterior gel-stained fiberglass door, a clear coat? It gets approximately 25 degrees or minus 25 degrees to minus 35 degrees periodically in the winter.
Yeah. So, I mean, the one part of that would be a variable is the fact that it's fiberglass. But in saying that, these fiberglass doors, I don't think they're. I mean, if you're not familiar, it's not like fiberglass like on a boat. It's got a different texture. We've had several customers that use our exterior product on these fiberglass doors without issue. And Renner makes a beautiful exterior coating. They have gone through probably the most extensive lengths I've ever seen as far as testing is concerned. And this isn't like some guy testing in his garage. They literally have teamed up in Italy with like their oceanic scientific organization, and they have samples on offshore platforms in the middle of the ocean, where they're looking at sheen degradation and delamination.
There's a video of that.
Yeah, there's a video of it. It's called the Renner Odyssey Project, which is really cool. If you haven't seen it, just YouTube Renner Odyssey Project, and it'll pop up, and you'll see the extents they go to, and people love the exterior coating. So yes, absolutely. If you need it in pigmented, it's $370 is the number on it, and same for clear. So it's $370, and we always have it in stock.
It's got UV in it, right?
It's got the UV inhibitors. It's what's really nice about it, it's designed to deteriorate from the top down, so it does not have a failure to where you're having to strip it off and start over. So it's easy to maintenance. They say if you need to maintenance it, you just clean it, light scuff sand it, and apply another coat. So excellent.
I was hoping I'd find another one before you finish that one.
I get all kinds of questions.
Maybe you have some questions, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you have one there, why don't you keep looking that? I'm going to try to find. I want to find see if I got a Facebook page for the Fine Finish Podcast, because I'd like to have a way to get questions a little easier.
I've got a question here that somebody asked me the other day, and this is a lot of people come to us and are asking us about staining and toning. We were probably the first ones that were like stain on social media, because everybody's so focused on painting stuff solid color. Okay. This person said, "Hello, my friend. It looks like things are going well. I have someone asking me a question that I'm pretty sure I know the answer to. Is there any way to make this wood lighter? My only suggestion to them is to have it fully stripped and start over, but I don't even know if that's possible." It's usually, from a toning perspective, you're not going to tone it lighter and it look good. Stripping it, I mean, this project is extensive. These are raised panel doors, there's reading, there's all kinds of stuff that would make it, in my opinion, it wouldn't be even cost effective to try to strip it and restain it and finish it. If you find yourself in that scenario where the customer just doesn't want to replace, you can offer them refacing. Refacing should be your most cost-effective option there. So,
Okay.
find any more?
No, but I went ahead and created the Fine Finish podcast on Facebook, and we already have one on Instagram. You can find us on there.
Or the website.
You can contact us through the website for sure, or you can call us. I'm just trying to figure out somewhere where we can have it
These podcasts.
in one spot, you know. And if you have any questions you want us to talk about, we can do that. And also, if you want to reach out, maybe you think, hey, you want to share your story, we can have you on if you're local or whatever. But yeah, so I didn't find anything else.
Yeah, we'll dig through some and see if we can't find some for the next one. But like you said, ask the questions. I mean, if you just, I don't care what it is. Stump Lewis. Let's see.
Stump Lewis. Yeah, that's it.
Keep in mind, I'm not a chemist. So
Yeah.
I have zero interest in you asking me about a chemistry thing that's irrelevant to 99% of our listening audience.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you just want to end it here, and then we'll
eat some lunch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks again, man.
Yep.
And we'll see y'all on the next one.
See you next time.
Later. The Fine Finish podcast was created and hosted by Louis Hasso, and produced and co-hosted by Matt Looney. Our theme music is by Kirk Wellness on SoundCloud. Fine Finish Supply is a stocking distributor of Renner Wood Coatings, Surf Prep Sanding, Apollo HVLP, and Tri-Tech Airless. To support this podcast, we ask that you share it with others by simply passing on the link, post it on your social media, or just tell everyone you know. For more information and to reach us, visit our website at www.finefinishsupply.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. If you have any questions or feedback, please feel free to reach out to us at 1-866-304-8640. Thanks for listening.